Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the international webinar event, The Art of Negotiation Strategy for Closing Deal and Building Partnership of Business. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Novita and I will be host for today's event. Now, let me welcome our special guest for today. Welcome to the Honorable First Dr. Joseph Teguh Santoso as a Rector of STEKOM University, to the Honorable Dr. Anish Gupta as a Rector of Chandigarh Group College, Chandigarh, to the Honorable Ms. Tetiana Neboha as a Vice-Rector for Scientific Work and International Relationship from Odessa State Agrarian University, and to the Honorable Speaker, Dr. Manjinder Wratch as an Associate Professor, English Computer Science and Engineering from Chandigarh Group College, to the Honorable Ms. Mariia Kholod as a lecturer of Department of Social and Humanitarian Science from Odessa State Agrarian University, to the Honorable Ms. Risma Nurhapsari as a lecturer of Accounting Department from STEKOM, and last but not least, also to the honorable guests and audience today. Okay, before we begin, I have a few housekeeping notes here. Today's session is being live streamed on the Universitas STEKOM YouTube channel. And for today event, we will start with Indonesia national anthems and continue with the opening speech by our rector and non-director for today event. As a regular obstacle to the university, in the next session, we will begin with the event presentation by our special guest for today. Continue with the Q&A session, take a picture for documentation, and last time is closing. First, we will sing our national anthems. For the operator today, you can start for Indonesian national anthems. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Next, we will invite the most responsible person to the stake of conduction this skill international event to give an opening speech for Dr. Joseph Teguh Santoso. The time is yours. Thank you.
Tes bisa dengar no?
Iya, Pak.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed participants, and all the distinguished guests. It is a great pleasure and enthusiasm that I extend my warmest welcome to every one of you to this international webinar with the topic of the art of negotiation strategies for closing deals and building partnership of business. And I'm welcome to the Honorable Dr. Anish Gupta, as a Rector of Chandigarh Group College, Chandigarh. Good afternoon, Mr. And Tetiana Neboha, as Vice-Rector for the Scientific Work and International Relations, PhD of Economic Science, Senior Research, and Lecturer of Department Economic Theory and Economics of Enterprise, OSAU, Ukraine, and Dr. Manjinder Wratch, Associate Professor, English, Computer Science and Engineering for Teguh in India, and Mariia, Kholod, Lecturer of Department of Social and Humanitarian Science, OSAU, Ukraine, and Ms. Risma Nurhapsari, Lecturer of Accounting Department of STEKOM, Indonesia. And today, we join together here in the international webinar with the topic of it's a very interesting topic, the art of negotiation, strategic for closing deals and building partnership of business. Actually, this is two topics, but embedded become one topic, and it's a very interesting topic that I think that everyone that doing business need to know about these strategies. It is absolute pleasure also to have all of the audience and all of you to join with us today. And as we know, in the realm of entrepreneurship and corporate ventures, the ability to close the deals and the effectivity and the form and the strategic partnership strategy is become a skill. Actually, it's not only skill, but also skill set that can determine the trajectory of business. The landscape of a modern business is dynamic, competitive, and constantly evolving, making it imperative for professionals across industries to equip themselves with the knowledge and the strategies needed to navigate this terrain with finish. And today we are embarking on a journey of discovery, learning, and growth as we delve into the fundamental strategies that can empower us to excel in the art of deal closure and partnership formation. Our goal for this international webinar is not only to provide us with the theoretical knowledge, but also equip us with the practical tools, actionable insight, and maybe we can get some of real-world examples that can be applied to our business or what our plan to do immediately. Of course, through this webinar, we also will learn about how we making a deal making and exploring the negotiation techniques, maybe the strategies or effective communication strategies, and the psychology behind the successful deal customers, and maybe additionally we also have we will spotlight the significance of building and sustaining partnership, and maybe we can get also the key factor that contribute the longevity and success for collaborative ventures. And wherever we are in the business or we are in become entrepreneur looking for secure for our first deal, business owner always seek to expand our their network expand their partners and cooperate with others business to can expand the cooperate with others and to expand with mutual collaboration and mutual benefit. So can come and work together to make more and more develop and profitable and sustainable business. And as uh, the word the strategies is now really important to uh, to develop our business forward because currently we know that for the digital in the digital world uh, we need to have the good and correct strategies, especially closing deals. Maybe it's not merely only closing the deals, but we need to know what the impact of what the key benefit to our business and our company. What next after the closing, and how to become sustainable and continuously partnership. So maybe we can avoid there's nothing no need to closing the deals that we don't need to close. We also can decide which one that is better for which one is the best for our business and our strategy. And that's maybe from my point of view to all of the audience. We can learn about that, so we can more specifically, targetedly improve our core business. And to enriching our knowledge together, I encourage you to actively participate, ask questions, and engage with our speakers to make the most of this learning experience. Absorb the insight shared and be prepared to implement actionable strategies that can drive your business forward and unlock new opportunities for growth and success. And let us dive into the heart of today's discussion and the strategies, and also maybe we can have some of the master the art of closing deals and forging enduring partnership in the realm of business. Thank you for joining us in this international webinar, and let's make this webinar a truly transformative and enlightenment experience for all of us. Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much for the conduction, and please welcome opening remarks by Dr. Anish Gupta as the Rector of Chandigarh College, Chandigarh. Yeah, from Dr. Anish, the time is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Novita. Thank you, Professor Josh, for introducing me and giving me an opportunity to be the part of your such a nice session. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and privilege to address this gathering at the International Webinar of Artificial Intelligence and Ethics. So, when we talk about the artificial intelligence, it is one of the hottest cake. This is a technology which is overruling each and every other technology. So basically, when we talk about in today's scenario, you can say the themes, then AI is the one most powerful, which is you can say is overruling all the technologies, which is the father of all the technologies, in which we are moving ahead to win the world. So we truly says that great power comes with great responsibility. So we have now more great responsibility with us that we have to use this technology in the right manner and the right way in the welfare of the society. I truly profound sense of responsibility and pride that our college we recognize the profound impact of AI on the society, and we commit playing a leading role in shaping the ethical dimensions of its development and the applications. In our organization, there are 8,000 plus students who are working on AI tools, who are getting day-to-day knowledge with the industry exposure, We are also ensuring that none of the student or the teachers or the staff or the, you can say, the society misuse this AI technology. The role and impact of AI or the learning, you can say that you are going to play the vital role into it, so that the basically you can guide the society, the evolution in the ways that promotes fairness, transparency, and accountability to the society. When we says upon AI, it is basically the machine learning. You can say it is also being used. Robotics is tremendously using this particular technology. Data science is more, you can say, is used very frequently in a right manner to use this particular technology. So we have to ensure that all of our student and we should know the proper use of this particular data. This AI is not only in the terms of the software which is being used now. It is, you can say, in the terms of medical use, physiology, law, sociology, and beyond this particular domains. Now AI is not limited to a particular specific domain or industry. It is being used everywhere. Recently, I have visited to this Range Rover plant in, in Birmingham in UK. So I found it that the AI is playing a vital role in the manufacturing of the cars over there. So Jaguar and the Range Rover, everybody knows these are the big brand. And with the help of the AI, you can say that the manufacturing has been fastened, or you can say it is speedily done with the minimum utilization of a human involvement of a human being. So when we talk about the technology, it is the best part what I have seen over there, how it is being used in the manufacturing unit also. When we says AI, it is not only an AI, it is an ethical AI. So we should use the ethical AI, and we should ensure that whosoever to whom we are seeing it is used in a proper way. There are certain norms and the rules and regulation which is being defined. I truly believe that by every government, industry, and the civil society, we should go through it, and there we should deliver a lecture on the ethical AI also, that what are the norms which needs to be fulfilled. And before I close, I will like to thank you to my partner university and Professor Josh for inviting me. I will like to thank all the participants to be the part of this particular session. And we are looking forward to have these kind of sessions in future, many more sessions. And we will request if you can visit to our campus, being a partner universities. It will be a privilege for us to host you. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you very much for the conduction, Professor Anish. Okay, before there is a striking time difference between the Europe continent and the Asian continent, the Honorable Speaker and Rector of Odessa State Agrarian University, Ukraine, will be present following Zoom today after the second speaker presentation. Let's welcome the opening speech from the Honorable Chancellor of Ukraine and prominent speaker. Yeah, just a moment, please. And we'll go to the main event. For our audience, if you have any question for the speaker, please add them to the chat and we'll be able to answer some of them during the Q&A session after the presentation. Today, its presenter will have about around 30 minutes for the time presentation. Now, let's welcome our first presenter, Dr. Manjinder as an Associate Professor, English Computer Science and Engineering from Chandigarh Group College, Chandigarh. Yeah, for Dr. Manjinder, time is yours. Thank you.
Greetings of the day to all the special dignitaries, faculty, and students, both at STEKOM University, Indonesia, and CGC Janjeri, Mohali, India. It's indeed an honor and privilege to connect with you all through this platform. I am Dr. Manjinder Wratch, Associate Professor at CGC Janjeri, Mohali, India. I am a doctorate from University of Jammu, and I had the opportunity of teaching both in the academic and corporate sector. Now, coming to the theme of the webinar, the art of negotiation, strategies for successful partnerships, as Sir has already discussed, that it is a burning theme with which we need to familiarize our students and all related to that. Let me share my screen and get back to you. Just give me a second. डेस्कटॉप से लेना है हमें डेस्कटॉप पता नहीं ना अभी कैसे आएगा नहीं रुको वेट करो डेस्कटॉप लेना है हमें डेस्कटॉप पे जाना है ये पता नहीं नहीं डेस्कटॉप नो सर को बुलाना एक बार just give me a second just there is some network issue just give me a second
Yes, ma'am.
keep the file on the disk
Yeah, okay. For Dr. Manjinder, then before you fix it, maybe we can go to the first speaker first, Miss Risma, and the second speaker we will go to from your set for fix this. Thank you. Okay, now let's
absolutely
yeah.
you can proceed with the second speaker and we'll get back to you
Yes.
because there is some network issue we'll get back to you
Yeah, okay. Jadi, okay, thank you. And now let's please welcome our first presenter, Miss Risma Nurhapsari. The time is yours. Thank you.
Okay. Miss Nafita, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Ya, for the presentation, just
Okay.
mohon untuk presentasinya mohon ditunggu terlebih dahulu untuk bentuk screen.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity give me to participate in our international webinar in this afternoon. Let me introduce myself. My name is Risma Nurhapsari. I'm a lecturer from STEKOM. I'm commissioned. I share the screen for our material this afternoon. Ms. Novita, help me my material in PPT.
Mohon ditunggu terlebih dahulu. Just a moment. Already?
Already. Okay. Okay, thank you. And this the art of negotiation, strategy for closing deals, and building a partnership of business. And slide 2. Kita, I'm sorry, slide number 2. Okay, thank you. Introduction, the importance of negotiation skill in the business world. Number 1 is the importance of negotiation skill in the business world, and number 2, aims of benefits of this webinar. The first, the importance of negotiation skill in the business world. The importance of negotiation skill is present in every area of life, but the skill are especially important in the world of a business. For executive, sales manager, and other high visibility position, negotiation skills are essential. Business not only increase their income but also their goodwill when the successfully negotiation. And then number 2, aims and benefit of the webinar. Learning to negotiate effectively involves acquiring a variety of relationship management skills, including communication, strategic development, persuasion, conflict resolution, decision making, and building rapport. Therefore, the main objective of the webinar, the art of negotiation strategy for closing deal and building partnership in business, is to provide an adept understanding the principles, strategies, and tactics of effective negotiation in a business context. And then, Nakita, I'm sorry. Next. Understand the basic principle of negotiation. Definition of negotiation. What negotiation? According to Elena Zohar in the book entitled Art of Negotiation, leadership skill required for negotiation in time of crisis. Negotiation is finding a resolution to the conflict between people, group, and various resources in such a way that is one win-win solution. Win is achieved. In the importance of negotiation skill is present in every area of life, but the skill are especially important in the world of business. And then negotiation objective. In general, the main goals of negotiation are achieve mutually beneficial agreement for parties involved, and then resolve official or difference of opinion in a constructive and peaceful manner. And number 3, distribute limit in resource fairly and efficiently, and of building or maintaining relationship between the parties involved in negotiation. And number 5, achieve the specific goals or interests of each party involved in the negotiation, taking into account the interests of the other party. Next slide, Novita. Understanding the basic principle of negotiation. C, type of negotiation, descriptive and integrative. Number 1, a descriptive negotiation. And in distributive negotiation are often referred to as win-lose negotiation or zero-sum negotiation. Disruptive negotiation often occur in situations where the interests of the parties very conflicting, and it is difficult to reach a mutually beneficial solution. Number two, integrative negotiation. In integrative negotiation, also known as win-win negotiation or value creating negotiation, is an approach in which the parties seek to identify and fulfill their mutual interests. Integrative negotiation are better suited to situations where the parties have a complementary interest and want to build a long-term relationship. Next slide. And number three is required preparation before negotiation. The first is collect information and conduct analysis. An important preparatory step in the negotiation process is gathering relevant information and conducting in-depth analysis. And the number one is information about the issue or object of negotiation, historical context and background, relevant data and facts, and applicable regulation or rules, and then relate and market of industry on trend. And then info number two is information about the issue or object of negotiation, historical context and background, relevant data and facts, applicable regulation and rule, and then relate market or industry trend. Same as information about the other party. Number three is information about yourself. Information about yourself, position, strength and weakness, boundaries and priority, the best alternative if no agreement is reached, and zone of possible agreement. And then analysis and planning. Analysis of common interest and conflict in interest, identify potential option and solution, preparation of negotiation strategy and tactics, and planning negotiations. Gathering relevant information and conduction in the depth analysis before negotiation can help a negotiator to understand the situation better, identify opportunities and risks, and formulate effective strategy to reach profitable agreement. Next. Required preparation before negotiation, setting goal and boundaries, negotiation goal, negotiation limitation, flexibility, compromise, and contingency planning. Before entering the negotiation process, it's important to set clear goals and boundaries. This step will help negotiators stay focused and not deviate from what they want to achieve. Number one is negotiation goal. Negotiation goal determine the result you want to achieve from negotiation in a specific and measurable manner. And then identify to main interest that must be met and set priority among these goals. And number two is negotiation elimination. Determine limit or length that must not be exchanged, and identify the resource, time, money, human resource available, and then consider the best alternative if no agreement is reached, and then set realistic limit or deadline. Number three is flexibility and compromise. Determine areas where negotiation can compromise or be flexible. Identify issues that can be used as a medium of exchange trade-off, and consider possible alternative option or solution. And number four is contingency planning. In the contingency planning, prepare alternative steps if negotiations do not go to according to plan, and then identify possible difficult situation and ways to handle them, and then set a point at which negotiation must stop if objectives are not achieved. And then by setting clear goals and boundaries, negotiation can better guide the negotiation process, ensure that key interests are met, and avoid excess or understandable compromise. And next step, number C, understanding the interest and position of other parties. In any negotiation process, it are important to understand the interest and position of the other party well. This will help negotiation to identify potential or for mutually beneficial solution and prevent unnecessary mistakes or conflict. Number one is interest of other parties. Number two, a position of the other party, and number three, asking question, and number four, active listening. And number one is interest of the other parties is identify what is truly important to the other party and where it is important to them, and then understand the motivation, needs, and goal behind the position, the type, and consider factors such as culture, value, and priority that may influence their interests. And number two is positioning of the other party. Listen careful to what the other party puts forward as their position, and understand the reason or argument they put forward to support that position, and identify whether their position reflects true interest or is just a negotiational tactic. In number three, asking question. In asking question, ask the right question to gain a better understanding of the other party's interest and position, and use open-end question to exchange to other party to recall more information, and last show genuine interest in understanding their point of view. And number four is active listening. Give your full attention when the other part speak, and observe body language and tone of voice to understand the broader context, and clarify and paraphrase what they say to ensure correct and understanding. By understanding the other party's interest and position, is that negotiation will be better able to find creative solutions that meet the needs of all parties and increase the chance of the raising mutually mutually beneficial agreement. Okay, next, Novita. Effective negotiation strategy and tactics. Building relationship and trust. Building, building strong relationship and trust with other parties is one of the key to success in the negotiation. When there is trust between the parties, they are more open the sharing negotiation. Where there is trust uh, between the parties and they are more open sharing information, more willing to compromise, and more likely to reach mutually beneficial treatment. Here some strategy for building reports on trust in negotiation. Number one, a report, building a report, show a friend, open and respectful attitude to other parties. And number and similarity or self-interest to build personal uh, connection and use positive body language and supportive nonverbal communication. And number two, demonstrate integrity. Be honest and transparent in your communication. Be consistent between your word and action, and then show your respect the other party and treat them fairly. And number three, meaning commitment. Do what you say and keep your promise. If there is a change in this situation, communicate clearly to the other party so that you are reliable and responsible. And the number four, showing empathy. Listen careful and try to understand to the other party perspective so that consider their interest and concern. Give recognition and appreciation to the other party's point of view. And number five is sharing information. Provide relevant and valuable information. Other parties demonstrate transparency and opening is sharing information. Don't hide or manipulate information uncertainly. And then building relationship and trust take time to and consistent effort. However, by following the above strategy, negotiation can create a climate conducive to productive negotiation and achieving mutually beneficial outcome. Next, clear and persuasive communication, short preparation, simple and easy understand language, and a convincing delivery style, active listening, using effective persuasive and managing emotional conflict. Here are some strategy for a communicating clearly and persuasively in negotiation. And number one, threat preparation. Prepare strong supporting argument and data before negotiation. Anticipate possible question or objection from other parties and prepare appropriate response and organize your mind message and structure your presentation clearly. And number two, simple. And number three, I'm sorry. Number two is simple and easy to understand language and use clear, direct, and ambiguous sense. Avoid jargon or technical term that can confuse for other party. Give example of or illustration or clarify your meaning. Number three, convincing delivery style. Use a firm but friendly and professional tone of voice, and then maintains good eye contact, build trust, and then use open and confident body language. Number four is active listening. Listening carefully when the other party speak and show genuine interest. Ask questions for clarification or further explanation if necessary, and then re-summarize what the other party said to ensure correct understanding. And the number five is using attractive persuasion, focus and common interest and win-win solution, and then provide logical reasoning and evidence to support your argument, and use persuasive technique such as conveying benefit, overcoming objection, and seeking compromise. And then number six is meaning, emotion, and conflict. Remaining calm and professional is dealing with a stressful or conflict situation. Use positive language and avoid words that attack or corner. Look for joint solution to overcome difference or tension that awareness. And with clear and persuasive communication, negotiator can convey message more effectively and build trust and relationship with other parties and increase the end of raising mutually beneficial agreement. Next, active listening. Give full attention, use non-verbal cues, ask clearing question, paraphrase of summarize, showing empathy, avoid judgment or interruption. Active listening is very important in skill negotiation. Here are some strategy for active listening in negotiation. Number one is give full attention, avoid distraction or other that can distract you. Focus on what the party is saying, not what you will say next. And minds good eye contact and show your interest and engagement. Number two, you use non-verbal cues. Use head nods, eye contact, and open body language to show that you are listening. And fold your arm or assume a defensive posture that could be perceived as disinterested or disengaged. And number three is ask clearing question. Instead to ask question if something is unclear or require further explanation, and use opponent question that is in charge to the party to provide more information. Paraphrase on summaries. Really summaries what the other party said in your own words, and this help ensure that you understand correctly and give the other party an opportunity to clarify if necessary. And the number five is showing empathy. Try to understand the motion and perspective behind what the other party is saying, and provide acknowledgement and validation of the feeling on concern. Number 6 is avoiding judgment or interruption. Avoiding making premature judgment or conclusion for listening fully and do not instruct to while the other party in speaking, and by listening actively negotiation can build a better relationship of more complete information and increase the likelihood of reaching a mutually beneficial agreement. Okay, next, Ms. Novita. Effective negotiation strategy and tactics. Bargaining strategy. Bargaining is important as aspect of the negotiation process. Here are some bargaining strategy that can be used in negotiation. Number one, in making the offer, consider making an initial offer that is brief but still actionable. The first offer can influence expectation and the zone of possibility of treatment, and be prepared to provide strong and logical reason to support your author. Number two is using multiple technique. Start with an order that is lower than what you want, then make a gradual bit, judgment toward your desired position. This technical can fit the preparation that you have compressed and increase the likelihood and or of agreement. And number three is ask for reciprocal concession. If you are asked to make concession, ask for a similar concessioning from the other party in return, and this help maintain balance and prevent one party for the making too many concessions. And then number four, using the tag and give technique. Make small concessioning on issue that are less important to you, but ask for less concessioning or issue that are more important. And this can help create the perception that you have compressed and increase the likelihood of agreement. Number five is using time limit and deadline. Set reasonable time limits or deadline of reaching and agreement, and this can create healthy pressure and the compromise and reach in agreement. And number six, knowing when to stop. Determine the minimum you can accept before negotiation beginning. If negotiation reach a point where agreement is impossible, do not proceed to the negotiation in a professional manner. Effective bargaining strategy requires skill, preparation, and flexibility. Successful negotiator can use a combination of the strategy in a way that is successful and appropriate to negotiation situation at hand. Next slide. Ms. Novita, I'm sorry, next slide. Thank you. Managing emotion and conflict well is very important skill in successful negotiation. Here are some strategy for many emotion and conflict in negotiation. Number one is understanding and acknowledging emotion, and number two is maintaining self-control. Number three is creating a positive environment and using conflict management technique, talking a pause or rest, and then maintaining perspective. And by managing emotion and conflict effectively, negotiation can create a more productive atmosphere, build a better relationship with other parties, and increase the chance of reaching mutually beneficial agreement. Okay. Next, closing tool and building partnership. The final stage of a successful negotiation process is closing and building a solid long-term partnership with the other party. There are some strategy and technique that can be used at stage A, technique for reaching mutually beneficial agreement. B, building a solid long-term partnership and maintaining good relationship after negotiation. By using this technique, negotiation can also mutually beneficial tool and build a strong foundation for a successful long-term partnership. Handling trust, commitment, and positive relationship with other parties is key to achieving sustainable results from the negotiation process. Okay, Vince, thank you. Final, Miss Novitra. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. Yeah. Now, we will go to the question for Miss Tisna. We have question from participant in the YouTube. First question, we have question from Miss Paulina. Excuse me, are there any example of negotiation that can be said to be successful or not considered successful that operate in large company? Thank you.
Okay. One question for Miss. Repeat again, please. Miss.
Paulina.
Oh, Miss Paulina. Okay. Example of successful and failed negotiation. The following are some example of successful and failed negotiation, as well an analysis of the factor that led to their success or failure. Number one example of successful negotiation between the Indonesian government and Freeport make Moran for mining contract in Papua. After a long and complicated negotiation, the two parties finally reached and mutually beneficial agreement, including an increase in the Indonesian government's shareholding and greater investment commitment from Freeport. Number two is success analysis. Both parties have a strong interest in reaching an agreement. The negotiation process is carried out with preparation and transparent information sharing. Negotiation on both sides have the skill, flexibility, and to win-win solution. And there is a long-term commitment and a willingness to build sustainable partners. And example of failed negotiation, peace negotiation between the Colombia government and the First Rebel group. And after nearly 4 years of negotiation, the peace bill was unlimitedly ratified in a national referendum, leading to the failure to the peace process. Okay, thank you, Ms. Novita.
Okay, thank you. And then the last question from Ms. Kinan. What preparation are made before negotiation take place? Thank you.
Okay. The first and important preparatory stage in the negotiation process is gathering relevant information and conducting analysis. Second, gathering relevant information and conducting in-depth analysis before negotiation can help negotiators to understand the situation better, identify opportunities and risks. And furthermore, before entering a negotiation process, it's important to set clear goal and boundaries. This step will help negotiation stay focused and not deviate from what they want to achieve. Okay, thank you, Miss Novita.
Okay, thank you for your time for the presentation and answering from question from our participant. Please let me welcome to the second speaker, Dr. Manjinder Wratch, as Associate Professor in English, Computer Science, and Engineering from Chandigarh Group College, Chandigarh. Yeah, for Dr. Manjinder, the time is yours. Thank you.
Yeah. Greetings again, Miss Novita. I have shared my PPT with you. I hope you can, just play it from your side. Because of the technical glitch, we couldn't start it earlier. And can we make it full screen?
Yeah, just a moment.
This is the PPT. I think it was another one with more slides. No worries. We'll make it full screen. So, as my previous speaker, she has already discussed about the major takeaways. Ma'am, if you can make it full screen, the second screen, please. Can you make it full screen? Yes, that's it. That's it. And please, let's come to the second slide. You might be aware with me about my profile. So the first speaker's discussion was very detailed. Mine, of course, it would be, a recapitulation of sort in my own style. First of all, I would like to make it clear negotiating is an essential part. From survival to cracking the best of the deals, negotiation is the most important part. And a lot of soft skills and personality, as well as anger management, it goes into play. The emotional quotient, it goes into play when we are cracking a negotiation. So the first step is when you are sitting on the negotiation table, the first step is you need to be prepared about the other parties requisite, calling from this very negotiation. You need to do your homework very properly. You need to be diligent and prepare psychologically. Like I have my tagline, it cheers, bringing anger to a negotiation is like throwing a bomb into the process. So when the negotiation begins, we need to optimize our strategy, and it can be done in various manners. Every negotiation, it can be done in person, it can be done through a mail, and it can also be done through a phone, right? And negotiation has its own pros and cons. You don't, you are not in a difficult situation to accept any negotiation. You can walk away from a negotiation in a very friendly manner. And one thing which has to be very clear, you don't need to burn bridges, because one failed negotiation should not close your doors for the further very good negotiations. So one, tip which is very important: do not burn any bridges in case you are totally frustrated or disappointed with the current negotiation. You can easily walk away out of that in a very, very responsible and friendly manner, right? Ma'am, can we proceed further to the next slide, please? Yes. Now, about your specific goals, every party should be very clear about the desirable outcomes which are expected from every negotiation. At the same time, one needs to be very optimistic, full of positive attitude. We should be prepared with several alternative situations and scenarios, and both the parties should be comfortable with those alternative situations and scenarios, that if plan A is not working, we should have at our hand plan B and C. Right. And another thing which is psychologically very important, we need to be aware about our negotiator's position. Supposedly, it is a real estate transaction. Then we know that that very negotiator is going through a liquidity crisis. That means the particular real estate stuff which is kept to be sold, it has a very difficult ability to be converted into cash. Now we know that that party, the other party with whom we are negotiative, they are in a fix and they would get away with this land and would be, they are the most needy party in this negotiation. So that psychological input, our homework, we should always have been worked upon before initiating any negotiation. But another important thing is every negotiation should be a win-win situation for both the parties. It should not be profitable for one party and at a loss or a crisis situation for the other party. Every negotiation should be a win-win situation for both the parties. Ma'am, can we proceed further to the next slide? Yes. Now, three kinds of negotiation: negotiation in person, negotiation through a mail, and negotiation through a telephone. Right? When we are doing a in-person negotiation, we have to keep in consideration that the body language is very, very important. That is a judgment criteria about our negotiator. There are various positive and negative signs which any negotiator reflects through their body language. It can be nodding of the head, it can be maintaining a direct eye contact. Similarly, we have negative signs also, like folding of the arms across the chest. It gives the impression that the negotiator is not very happy with our deal. The negotiator is trying to avoid eye contact, or if head nod is also coming, that is also very subtle. Okay, okay, doesn't suits it, sort of a thing. So we have to be very careful when a question is being asked to the negotiator to read the signs of body language. And a body language of the negotiator, it will spill many beans and it will help us crack that deal to our favor. So this is about in-person negotiation in which the body language tools have to be taken care of. Let's move to the next slide. Yes, over a telephone. Now, when a negotiation is taking place over a telephone, we are not aware about our negotiator's body language. So, at that time, what are we supposed to focus? We are supposed to focus on our counterpart's voice. What whether the counterpart it is that whether the counterpart is giving us extended pauses, so that gives us a reflection that the opposite party is very hesitant, or the opposite party or our negotiator is pondering by and large very far into the offer. At the same time, once there are sudden exclamation, yes, yes, come along, what's it, can I hear it more clearly? So those unusually quick responses in a pleasant voice, they give the indication that our negotiator is quite favorable to the proposal and just needs a little nudge from our side to seal the deal. So this was about negotiation on phone or through phone. That place, what is important is listening to our counterpart's voice with much clarity and trying to predict something out of it. Let's move ahead to negotiation by email. Now, if negotiation by phone, the spoken language was very important. Ma'am, can we move to the next slide? When we are doing a negotiation by email, certain expressions are very, very important. If the party says perhaps, maybe, yes, possibly, oh, this is acceptable. So these phrases, when they are used by our negotiator, oh, I'm anxiously waiting for your reply. Yeah, why not? We are looking forward to it. So these are the signals that our negotiator is very enthusiastic about this deal, and she is finding this very deal very promising. So, we can just have our say in this deal. So when we are sending a email and get a reply through the email, we need to focus on the words, the given proposal words, the words like, yes, this deal can materialize. Possibly this deal can materialize in the coming time. Perhaps this is the right time for this deal to materialize. Maybe we can talk about this deal in the coming days. Oh, this deal would surely be acceptable to my higher authorities. Let me have a talk with them. So these very expression and phrases are, they are very big clues that an agreement with our negotiator can be reached very soon. So similarly, if the party is opposing the initial offer, those very situations, we need to focus on the particular terminology. And ma'am, please, just if you can just heighten up the slide. Yes. We need to focus on the particular expression, and when we feel it is the right time that the opposite party is giving us positive signals, we should not hesitate and waste any time and go in for a formal contract, highlighting the terms and the conditions during the negotiation. That is a must, because those are the guidelines which both the parties would be following in their future relations. So that's about the email or mail oriented negotiation, which comes into play and is very much dependent on the expression. Coming to the next slide. Can we move the next slide, ma'am?
Just a moment, please.
Yes. Next slide, please.
Yeah, just a moment, please. Please. Yeah.
No worries, no worries. If possible, ma'am, I'd sent you two, I think. If you can play the second one, because it had more content. These technical glitches, they are unavoidable. So we should try to bear with them and make the most of these webinars, these online interactions. They stood by us during the COVID period, and we have stuck to them post the COVID period also. So every negotiation, let's continue by the time the slide gets changed. Every negotiation, there are certain important actions which we have to keep in mind. That is listening very carefully and thoughtfully. The speaker before me, she also focused on this. We have to be very thoughtfully and carefully listening Yes, that's the next slide. Very carefully and thoughtfully listening to our negotiator. Yes, that's the last slide, ma'am. Please, can you move backwards?
Here, Miss.
Yes, yes. Previous to this, can we move previous to this? The slide previous to this? Yes. And the previous to this? Yes, this we had already discussed. We can move to the next slide. The next slide, please. Yes. What are the important steps in negotiation? Important steps, like I've already discussed, we have to be very carefully and thoughtfully listening to our negotiator and simultaneously providing the responses. Again, repeating, if we have to walk out of a negotiation, we should walk out in a very professional yet friendly manner. We are not supposed to burn the bridges. I use the expression burning the bridges, bridge is a connect. Burning the bridges means we should not just kill the future contact or connect between the two negotiator. Remember, there are many sides, at least two sides to a negotiation, and it should be a win-win situation for both the parties. Next slide, ma'am. Now, coming to the role of emotions. What is the role of emotions in negotiating? Right? A temperament, artificial intelligence, emotional intelligence, all of these, they play a pivotal role while cracking a negotiation, because bringing anger to a negotiation is like throwing a bomb into the process. And one more important topic which I would be sharing is about the winner's curse. What is a winner's curse? That has not been dealt in the previous presentation. Winner's curse is during the bidding process. Sometimes a bidding process is going on, and in our over enthusiasm, we try to, give the best bid, and that bid is actually more than the market value of that very product. So it is a sort of repentance for the winner who has won the bid, but that bid is not going to be a profitable bid. So that situation is known as the winner's curse, as the terminology itself explains. Can we move to the next slide? Okay, there were slides. There were actually 14 slides. I don't know which one has been shared with you. Now coming to the last statement to this very presentation. See, it's not possible that every negotiation it can be cracked and both the parties would be happy with the negotiation. Whatever happens, we need to be very gracious, and we need to be in the right temperament, and we need to agree or disagree and part as friends, right? So under no circumstances we are not supposed to kill the possibilities of the future negotiation, because life is full of opportunities, and the future holds so many more negotiation which have to be worked upon and which are going to be a win-win situation for both the parties. So this is here from CGC Janjeri, Mohali, India, from Dr. Manjinder Wratch. I'm open to the questions. And sorry, due to the technical glitch, all the slides could not be shared with you, but I've tried to briefly sum up what is my agenda on this burning topic of negotiation skills, how we are supposed to be very prompt and working and diligent about it, and try and read the expression of our negotiator, try to do our homework and know about the history and the previous deals of our negotiator and accordingly work. Yes, thank you so much, Novita.
Okay, thank you for your presentation, Dr. Manjinder. For our
Yes.
participant, if you have any question for the speaker, please add them to the chat or you can raise your hand. And right now we have question from, okay, we have 3 questions from participant already right in the room chat, Miss. First question, we have question from Mr. Abdullah. Professor, in a business context, is there a significant difference between sell and consider in the negotiation process? And how can we combine the two to reach an optimal agreement? Thank
Yeah,
you.
can I can see it in the chat box. Can I answer this part of the question? It's really a brilliant question. First of all, I must confess, in the business context, in today's business context, where everything has been reduced to a business, a cell therapy, a cell strategy, it is really very valuable to be considerate and think about the prospects which the other party, our negotiator, is supposed to reap from this deal. So we need to be very considerate. The question itself, it has given lot of answers and food for thought. We need to commingle, we need to mix our selling strategy with the heart full of consideration with for our negotiator, and the deal should be a win-win deal, right? So that is it. And another question by Fast, should I proceed with Fast question? Abdullah, I believe you're satisfied with my answer, or do you need me to explain more? It's really a brilliant question, Abdullah. I must congratulate you for that. Thank God the PPT didn't work. We have a more, lively interaction with your questions coming.
Yes.
Yes. So I move to Fast question. He means to say, in today's highly competitive world, we need to decide which situation is a given situation and which situation is a situation to hold firm. Again, focusing on given situation, we have to be full of consideration for our negotiator. We should see that our negotiator is not at loss, right? Because one deal is not the end of all the deals. We need to justify the profit which the other party, our negotiator, is going to accrue from this very relationship. And holding firm situation is what I talked about as winner's curse. In those situations we are supposed to hold very firm, because we cannot be in a situation that we have won a deal, but what deal we offered has been much more than what the product is going to offer. So those are the situations in which we are supposed to hold firm. I think I've been able to distinguish. As far as the consideration about the other party, our negotiator, is concerned, we should be in a situation to give in. We should give our other party the platform to be equally profitable. And whereas the situations like the winner's curse, we need to be firm and never crack the deal about which we are going to repent later, right? Yes. Can I proceed further to the third question?
Yes, Miss.
Yes. Sukamato's question is, in today's global business environment, how can we navigate differences in culture and values in the negotiation process? The world has become a global village. See, I sitting in Chandigarh, India, I am interacting with you guys sitting there at Indonesia. So there are a lot of opportunities in which we break the ice. We study about the people who come from a different cultural background. We study about their culture, we study about their perceptions, we study about their ideologies. So cross cultural partnerships are very, very important important. As you can see, this is a cross-cultural participation, and we are trying our best, in the most pleasant of the circumstances, to benefit each other in the above circumstances. So cross-cultural partnerships are very important, and we need to know about other cultures, study about other cultures, and have some healthy and fruitful interactions from people of other cultures, because it's going to be a profitable venture. This is how the world grows, and this is how the world becomes a small place, a global village. I believe I have tried to, give a justified answer to all the three questions. I look forward to more questions.
Okay, thank you. I think it's very clear answer from Professor. Yeah, thank you for answering the question, Professor Manjinder. Yeah, for our participant, before I close this event, for our participant, please open your camera. Oh, okay. Yeah, I will go just before we close this event, we will open with welcoming remark from Miss
Send your
Tetiana
question
Neboha.
in the comment box also. You can send your questions.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying your questions. That's giving us more insights into the topic.
Okay. I guess no one else asking again, Miss. Okay. We will go to the next session. Yeah. For
So
we
thank you so very much for this wonderful opportunity. Like I shared with you, I am a PhD in English literature, and I have published many books on English literature, and also guided the PhD thesis of 7 to 8 scholars. So anybody of you, from STEKOM University, I would be sending my email address in case you need any assistance of any kind in your PhD English literature or humanities stream. I would be more than happy to help you. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. At the same time, I would like to, thank my host institute also, Chandigarh Group of Colleges, Janjeri, Mohali, India, and Director Academics, Professor Ashish Gupta, as well as our International Affairs Director, Asim Jot Chehel, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to interact with you all. I'll be staying and listening to the next presenter. Thank you so very much. Look
okay.
forward to the next presenter.
Okay,
So
thank you so
that's
much.
also a positive. That's also a positive verbal, a vocabulary to show the interest, as I've shared in my tips and tricks on negotiation skills. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for Dr. Manjinder. And now let's me welcome our next session, Ms. Tetiana Neboha, as a Vice-Rector for Scientific Work and International Relations, PhD of Economy Science, Senior Research Docent of Department Economic Theory and Economy of Enterprise from Odessa State Agrarian University from Ukraine. Yeah, for the time is yours. Thank you.
Dear webinar organizers, do you hear me? Is the connection fine? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is Andriy Maev. I'm a head of International Relations Office of Odessa State Agrarian University, and I would like to welcome all of you on behalf of the administration board of our university, of our rector, Professor Mikhailo Broshkov, on behalf of our vice-rector, Professor Tetiana Neboha. For our university, it's a great opportunity to take part in this webinar and to establish practical cooperation with STEKOM University, as well as with other universities participants. You see that in the modern world, computer technologies are very important, and IT technologies take a great role in the context of COVID restriction, which were imposed recently, and in the context of the war condition, which is in my country currently now. Our university promotes and expands every year its international cooperation. By now, we have about 32 bilateral agreements and memorandum of understandings. And we appreciate very much the memorandum of understanding concluded with STEKOM University in 2023. So we sincerely hope that our today's event would be the first step of practical implementation of this document. We hope that your scholars, your researchers, your students will also take part in the events held by Odessa State Agrarian University, offline and online, held in Ukraine. We sincerely invite you and other colleagues from different countries to spread their research activities and to take part in our events in Ukraine. We are going to soon invite you officially. Besides this, unfortunately, I would like to stress on the impossibility of our speaker, Mariia, to take part in today's events, because we have the war in Ukraine now, unfortunately, and due to Russian aggression, she is now in bomber shelter, because we are having now air alert. Unfortunately, this is our reality, and taking into account the time difference between our countries, when we got the program, the webinar had already started. But I think that it won't harm our cooperation, and it will allow, our first step will allow you to continue and will allow us to continue in future. Thank you very much for your attention. If there are any questions, I would like to answer them, and I would be glad. Thank you very much again for the invitation. And productive and good, successful work to the event.
Okay, thank you so much for Mr. Andrei for your welcoming remark. Okay, before I close this event, for all participants, please open your camera. I will take a picture on the count of 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, another 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, smile. Thank you. Thank you for your cooperation. Finally, we come to the end of webinar today. We would like to thank you for our speaker for Odessa State Agrarian University, Chandigarh Group College Chandigarh, for the wonderful information and sharing your knowledge and for your time. Okay. Thank you so much. I hope this event will be beneficial for our participants. At least we hope to have more collaboration in the future. The webinar for today and here we appreciation. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you for our speaker. Thank you for Mr. Andrei and Dr. Manjinder. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you. Look forward to more such interactions. You have been a wonderful host, Novita. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Greetings, Professor. Greetings. Love to hear from you.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to more such interactions and participations in future too.